Hey there, Seth, the shrinking pastor here. Coming to you from the parking lot outside of the school where I work. Got a little bit of time, thought I'd shoot a video, having just recently completed P90X Day 4 yoga. I hated yoga at first. I got very, very frustrated. Well, before I even started, my wife had to remind me of my own inspirational words yesterday to just get up and do it. Um, I'm still tweaking my sleep schedule. It was I was amped up after doing the video and everything last night that it took me until about 1 o'clock to fall asleep. And so when 6 o'clock came around, I did not want to get up out of that bed. Um, I really didn't. I thought that maybe I could do the yoga later in the day, but I've got a busy schedule and it's not likely to happen. And my loving, supportive wife reminded me of that and told me just do it, get out of bed, and go. And I did. And then when I got to the actual yoga itself, I hated it. I was frustrated because the poses that they do are about 20 seconds long a piece. And in 20 seconds, and there are multiple parts, there are moving parts. So in 20 seconds, someone who has never done yoga before, has no familiarity with the different poses and the names. I had no idea how to do the poses. Um, and I'm so, and it's very difficult to do something where you're supposed to be focused on your breathing and focusing internally and having to watch the instructions real close. And by the time I figured out exactly how to get the pose right, we were moving on to something else. And so after the first 6 or 7 minutes, I really got fed up. I really wanted to quit then just because it was pissing me off. Um, but I stuck with it, and eventually the poses repeat themselves. So once you get through like the first 5 or 6, then you do those 5 or 6 again, and then you'll do a seventh, and then you'll do those 7 again, and then you'll do an eighth. So each time you're only having to learn one, and if you don't catch it the first time, it's okay because you can catch it the second time. The other issue I had with yoga is modifications. Um, I just don't have the strength to be getting down and back up, down and back up, down and back up. Um, it just took so much time. They have these very smooth transitions where they're going from a lying on the floor to a push-up type position to standing. First, I'm not flexible enough to really do that well, and when I was attempting to do it, it was just taking so much time. And because each pose is only held for about 20 seconds, I was missing the new stuff because I was trying to get up off of the floor. So what I ended up doing for the first set is I pretty much stood up and did everything that involved standing. Um, and so all of the warrior poses and crescent moons and I don't know, there's some weird names. So my earlier video got cut off short when my student school bus came barreling around the corner, and I had to rush out to meet him. Of course, he wasn't here today, so I could have kept filming, but I didn't. Uh, where I left off, I was talking about the silly names for some of the poses. Um, I don't really understand them. Like, there's a warrior pose, and there's like 5 different versions of the warrior pose, and really they're just like statue poses. You're standing like a statue. If it was a warrior pose, you would have a sword or a gun or something, and you would at least be swinging at stuff. But there's no swinging in yoga. There's no crying in baseball. So I don't really understand the names. And then some of the poses are just absolutely ridiculous. It's a good thing that my wife loves me, because yoga, especially um, me doing yoga, is not attractive at all. It's not you wouldn't want to go to yoga class to pick up chicks, I don't think, because especially if you're not a pro, you're going to look real silly. There's this one move called downward facing dog, where you put your hands on the floor and your body makes an upside down V. And so your butt is like sticking right on up there. I have never seen a dog make a shape like that ever. So I don't get it. That's okay. It's all right. In all, after I figured out some of the poses, things got easier. Like I said, I kind of skipped out on some of the early floor stuff because between the stand-up poses, the warriors, you go down to the floor, you do a push-up, and you come back up. But I just wasn't very fast at that, and so I was falling behind on the things that I could do well. So I just focused on what I could do well, which I think is the point. And then eventually I will get better at doing the stuff I can't do well. And so then about halfway through you switch and you start doing balance stuff. And that's actually when yoga got fun. You're really stretching your muscles. And so it's a workout. I mean, to stand on one leg for 30 seconds and pull your other leg behind you, it's a workout just stretching your muscles, but it feels good, especially after 3 days of really working those muscles hard. And so, never having done a workout program before, I've been really impressed with how well planned out the program is, because just when you're about ready to cry because this muscle is hurting, you stop and you do something completely different, and just give that a complete rest. Long enough for it to get better. So even though today, when I woke up, some of my muscles were hurting real bad, I feel really, really good after yoga. The last 20 or so minutes, actually, there's a set of stretches. You sit on the floor. That really plays into my wheelhouse. Gravity and I get along pretty well. And so sitting on the floor doing stretches, that was pretty easy. And again, felt good. And then the last one, you do some ab stuff. And the ab stuff is just brutal. It's not as bad as doing the ab ripper to talked about yesterday, but it's still doing ab ripper yesterday and then doing ab work today. My one giant ab it's cramping up on me a little bit, actually. So I'm trying to eat as many bananas as I can. And then you end by kind of lying on the floor. And it's awesome. It's very, very relaxing to just lay and let your muscles just relax. I was planning on only doing about an hour of the workout today. Someone had told me it was long and tedious. But by the time that hour hit, we were doing the fun stuff, the stretching, and the things that I felt I could do well, and I ended up doing the whole hour and a half. It was good. It feels good, and I feel better today than I have any of the previous days. Tomorrow I'm really, really apprehensive about, because it's legs, and I've had surgery on one of my legs twice, and so my leg muscles are a little weak, and it's actually even, I think it's going to be worse than the plyometric, the jump training, because it's things like wall squats, and it's legs and back and abs. So it's that, I think, is going to leave me pretty sore. But then Saturday is Kempo, so that's martial arts. That's real warrior posing, not just being a poser warrior. So yeah, day 4 of P90X, I think, was a huge success. I look forward to the days coming up, and it's getting easier every day. But I am definitely a testament to my own advice. You just got to get up and do it. I was close to not today, and so it's getting a bit late. So I'm going to be heading off to bed soon, so I can not have such a hard struggle in the morning. Anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow.